All right, so continuing on, how do we determine our body fat, right? So I gave you 4 basic ones here. Some of them you might have access to, some of them you will not. You need to go to labs to have it done or go to a gym and have them do it for you. There's another one I didn't list here, which is basically your circumferences of your body. So you can measure your hips, waist, chest, thighs, arms, neck, right? So there's a certain number that you have to meet in certain areas. You take that, you plug it into an equation, it gives you a relative body fat. You can look that up online. You need to get a Gulick tape measure. That's something that has like a pressure sensitive spring in it, if you will, right? So you don't pull too hard and make your circumference too small, or you don't pull tight enough and then now all of a sudden you're bigger than you actually are, right? So you need to have certain tools to be able to do that. A Gulick tape measure is not very expensive if you really want to do it. But the ones that most people are probably familiar with, like first is the skin fold. So it's measuring your subcutaneous fat. So you take pinches of your body in certain areas. So it'd be your thigh, would be your tricep. Men, they do the pec. They measure your love handles, if you will, right? So just several different areas, kind of the same thing. They measure it up. You add up the skin fold measurements. It gives you a basic idea of what your body fat is. It can be pretty accurate if you do it right. And there's actually a lot of calibers that you can use that determine it do it for you automatically, right? They give you the right pressure and whatnot. So there is some cool stuff out there. Those are pretty expensive, but it can also be very inaccurate, right? Up to 11% incorrect in terms of determining your body fat. And a lot of that is user error, like not pinching the right area, not having the right amount of like fat or too much, or right, didn't quite use the caliber the correct way. So there's a lot of human error. The bod pod, or like air displacement, that's kind of what a lot of places are going to because it's a lot easier. And what you do is you get in there in your skivvies and they pressurize air around you, and the bod pod does it all itself. It measures out, gives you a full print up of your body fat. The problem with that is extremely expensive, but it is pretty accurate, right? It's like 2 to 4% off. A lot of this like depends on how much you drank, what you ate, like what you're wearing, like hair, do you fully capped up, right? Like, so it's kind of a weird thing because if you have mass from a lot of hair, it can take away or add body fat to you because you're displacing more air. The one that probably you're most familiar with is your bioelectrical impedance. Again, you can see here it has like a 6% plus in air. And that is basically when you have an electric current that they kind of shoot through your body. That's what most home scales are when they measure your body fat, right? It just has a circulation, like it goes in one leg, comes out the other, and it calculates the time of that current to get through your body. Fat is essentially, it dulls the ability or is the insulator, right? So it dulls the ability for the current to travel as quickly. And when you're talking about like muscle or lean tissue, it's very water dense, so it should like flow through quickly. So the longer it takes. Now, the problem with that is if you don't do your body fat and follow the same protocols, like don't eat, drink X amount of, ounces of water prior to, right? Measure, like there's a lot of issues that go into it. So it's not perfect. That's where you get this percentage error. But the gold standard hydrostatic weighing, right? Muscle's more dense than water. Fat is less dense than water. You dunk yourself on a scale in water. The fat floats. The lean muscle tissue sinks. They get your weight in there and they're able to determine what your body fat percentage is. And that one is like pretty accurate. It's like 1.5%, like air plus or minus. So when you are trying to determine body fat, like those are your main 4, as well as like circumference measurements.